All right, let's talk about the national parks. You've definitely heard that phrase, America's best idea, right? And it makes you think of these huge, incredible landscapes. But what exactly is a national park? Well, the answer is a whole lot bigger and, frankly, way cooler than you probably think.
I mean, seriously, just for a second. When I say national park, what's the first thing that pops into your mind? Because for most people, it's a pretty specific kind of image.
Yeah, it's probably something just like this. A majestic, totally breathtaking landscape. You're probably picturing the geysers at Yellowstone, or maybe the giant cliffs of Yosemite, or that endless view at the Grand Canyon. It's that classic, picture-perfect vision of American wilderness.
And if I asked you to guess how many of these places there are, you'd probably land somewhere right around this number. And you'd be right. There are 63 officially designated national parks. These are the big ones, the heavy hitters, the crown jewels that everybody knows.
But here's the thing. Those 63 parks, they are just the tip of the iceberg. The system they belong to is so much bigger and more diverse than most of us ever realize. The real number is 433. That's how many different sites the National Park Service actually takes care of. So what in the world are all these other places? And why aren't they all just called national parks? Well, that's exactly what we're about to break down. Okay, so let's start by decoding the most common names you're going to see out there. If you can get the difference between these top three, you've pretty much got the key to understanding the entire system. First up, the big one, a national park. So here's the deal. These are usually huge areas with a ton of different things to protect. We're talking multiple ecosystems, different kinds of geology, historical stuff, all in one giant package. They get the highest level of protection, so no hunting, no mining, and, this is key, they can only be created by an act of Congress. Next, you have a national monument. Now, a park protects a whole landscape, but a monument, it usually zooms in on one or two specific things that are historically or scientifically important. Think Devil's Tower, or even the Statue of Liberty. And here's the really big difference. A president can create one of these all on their own, using something called the Antiquities Act. They don't have to wait for Congress. And rounding out our top three is the National Historic Site. This one is the most focused of them all. It's usually not about a landscape at all, but about one single place, tied to a specific person or a big moment in American history. We're talking about a president's childhood home or a place like Ford's Theater. So if we look at them side by side, the pattern becomes super clear, right? National parks are big and broad, and they require an act of Congress. Monuments are more specific and can be designated faster by a president. And historic sites are laser-focused on one single piece of history. The name itself tells you a lot about what you're going to find there. Okay, now that we've got the big three down, let's zoom out and take a tour of the rest of the system, because this is where it gets really interesting. The sheer variety is what makes it so special. That's not a typo. There are at least 19 different official titles for all the places in the national park system. It's not just a few categories. This system is set up to preserve pretty much every part of America's story and its landscapes. A whole bunch of these sites are about telling our nation's story. You've got national battlefields and national military parks, which are often bigger and both protect the actual ground where history happened. But then you have national memorials. These don't even have to be on a historic spot. They're places built specifically to remember a person or an event, like the Lincoln Memorial right in the middle of Washington, D.C. The system also does a ton of work to protect our water. You've got national seashores on the oceans and national lake shores on the Great Lakes. And these aren't just beaches. They protect miles and miles of wild, undeveloped coastline. Then there are national wild and scenic rivers, which is an amazing designation that protects entire river systems, letting them flow freely without dams. And hey, some of these places are all about the journey and just getting outside to have some fun. I mean, you have national parkways, which are literally roads designed just for a beautiful scenic drive. Then there are the incredible national scenic trails like the Appalachian Trail, which protect these epic long-distance hiking paths. And of course, national recreation areas, which are usually built around huge lakes and reservoirs, perfect for boating, fishing, and camping. So you've got battlefields, seashores, parkways, monuments. It can almost feel like a random grab bag of places. But there's a single, really powerful idea that unites every last one of them. I mean, really, what is the one thing that connects a tiny historic site in a city with a giant chunk of wilderness in Alaska? Well, the answer is the agency that's in charge of them all.
Every single one of these 433 places, no matter what it's called, is managed by the National Park Service, and they all operate under one single profound mission. This right here, this is the sentence that started it all, from the Organic Act back in 1916. Think about that for a second. It's a dual mission: protect America's treasures and make sure we can all enjoy them. Not just today, but forever. It's a beautiful idea, and it guides every decision made across the entire system. And the scale of that mission is just mind-blowing. We're talking 433 units spread across more than 85 million acres of land. And get this, there's an NPS site in every single state, plus DC and other U.S. territories. It is truly a national system for everyone. So the next time you think about visiting a park, just remember that it's so much bigger than those famous 63 names. It's this incredible, diverse system of seashores, battlefields, monuments, and rivers, all out there just waiting for you. The only real question left is, which one are you going to visit next?